Mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, and thank you again so much for joining us on this live Thursday, July 3rd, 2014 worldwide transmission. I am your host, Alex Jones, back in the saddle yet again. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to have Lord Christopher Monckton on with the latest big news on the carbon tax, global tax fraud that the globalists are pushing, and how they're trying to get that agenda through, and how they're trying to shut down free speech, and some other breaking news that we'll disclose when he comes on with us. Then Professor Daryl Hamamoto will be joining us, coming up from UC Davis. And the professor went public last week and contacted Infowars.com via Paul Watson with the article Paul Watson then subsequently wrote, UC professor, immigration influx is about re-education of society and creating a new permanent underclass. See, that's the deal. They want to exploit these immigrants. I don't even dislike these immigrants overall, except for the Democratic Party vitriol that they're programmed with, that they deserve free welfare, vote to turn in the guns, the government's God. The government's bringing in a client group that will pliantly do whatever they're told. And I know you know that, but the general public knows something's going on. They don't know exactly what. We've got to get the truthful narrative out against the lying narrative. And boy, is it getting crazy. When we come back from break, all hell is breaking loose as Obama signs this executive order and announces a bunch of other executive orders to basically legalize these illegals. He says that's how you fix the giant uncontrolled influx, is put more of them on welfare, make more of them legal. That'd be like if someone wanted to stop getting fat, they would triple the amount of food they would eat. Or if you didn't want to die, you'd shoot yourself in the head at point-blank range with double-aught buckshot with a 12-gauge. Or if you didn't want to bleed, you'd hack your fingers off with a hatchet. Come here, we'll pay for everything, it's free, get on buses to the United States, we'll bus you deeper in and just drop you off, and the latest welfare office will take you in. And now they're reporting VA employees switch from processing VA applications to Obamacare applications. We actually put incoming applications aside so we could focus on the ACA-related applications that came in over last summer. That's the whistleblower quote from Fox News with Neil Cavuto. So, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs and the rest of our reporters down there at the border kept pointing out that the VA is basically turning off services. It was already bad. It's now basically almost like a VA stand-down in many areas. And we said, wow, what's it going to? The illegals, they get everything paid for, and a red carpet, but the veterans get nothing. Is this related? And it is now emerging in congressional testimony and closed-door hearings that that is exactly what's happening. And when the government wants to cover something up, that's what they do, is they have a closed-door hearing and then gag everyone that brings in the bombshell information. The good news is the whistleblowers are getting smarter about that. They're just going to the media. Whether that be old dinosaur media that'll tell the truth like Fox News on some cases, or whether it's the true new media, the only real media. The real media versus the fake media. The state-run media versus the people's media. The liberty-based, truth-based media versus the Decepticon media. It's all coming up. Geopolitical news, the latest on ISIS. BBC reporter says Google moving to suppress legitimate journalism, and more.
Surrounding this illegal immigration influx is that the White House hasn't sent a clear message that it's not open season at the border. And over the weekend, Nancy Pelosi visited a border facility in Brownsville, Texas, and what she saw there prompted her to tug on the heartstrings of the American people. She says that we have a moral responsibility to help children that are crossing the southern border. But what about these American children that are being treated like terrorists by the TSA? Here we have an 18-month-old and her family that were thrown off a flight because her name was on the no-fly list. Absolute terrorist. And then, you know, here just it goes on and on. We've got a girl that was in a wheelchair. She was headed to Disney World with her family, and she was so traumatized by that experience that she told her family, I don't want to go to Disney World anymore, because we all just really enjoy getting patted down by the TSA as if we're the terrorists. Meanwhile, it's open season at the border. One of the things that Nancy Pelosi failed to mention is that some of these children are actually active gang members. Now, we've reported before about how border agents are saying that even if these children under 17 admit to actively being in gangs, even if they're covered in gang tattoos, they're ordered to release these known gang members into America as long as they don't have a current criminal record here in the U.S. Meanwhile, cops are using pre-crime techniques to detain American citizens who could possibly commit a crime.
Pima County Sheriff's Department's MIST unit, the mental health support team, takes every threat seriously. And now, armed with everything known about a subject, a new Arizona law says the individual can be brought in voluntarily to a mental health crisis response center without a warrant or court order or visible evidence of danger.
Are we preventing crime? I think we are.
So anyone showing these warning signs can be involuntarily detained in a mental health facility. Meanwhile, if you have the warning signs of gang tattoos all over your body, or you admit to being in a gang, that's not enough of a warning sign for you to be detained. Now, here's video of police throwing a female professor, college professor, to the ground and arresting her for illegally crossing the street. And here we show video exclusively shot by InfoWars showing busloads of illegal immigrants being given the VIP treatment for illegally crossing the border. So one of the biggest issues facing these unaccompanied illegal alien children is the dangerous journey ahead of them. They could be kidnapped, pulled into the sex trade, drug cartels, they could starve, dehydrate, catch any number of diseases, rape, murder. I mean, it's a dangerous journey. Here, Breitbart News reports on the body of an 11-year-old child that was found in a border town. These kids, some are reportedly as young as 3 months old, are being sent on this dangerous journey by themselves, by their parents. Now imagine if parents here in America were, showing the same kind of disregard for their children. Here we have a father in Hawaii who was sentenced to 1-year probation. He was given a $200 fine, and he was also forced to take child parenting classes. His crime? He forced his 8-year-old son to walk nearly a mile home from school because the boy refused to tell his father why he had been disciplined earlier that day. Well, the father wanted to teach him a lesson. He said, walk it off, and by the time you get home, you better have a better answer for me than that. Well, the judge ruled that walking was just too severe of a punishment for this child, and the judge said, these are different times. It's dangerous for children to walk along the highway, and there are predators out there. Walking was considered too severe of a punishment to inflict on a child. Now, clearly, if the parents of these unaccompanied illegal minors were here in America, they'd be fined, they'd be arrested, they'd have their parental rights taken away, but instead, these children are given a bus ticket to any town USA, and then they're going to serve as anchor babies for their families. And then when their families get here, rather than arrest them on the spot, they're going to be reunited promptly with their children. They're going to be given access to welfare, legal representation, and amnesty, which the Obama administration is reportedly planning to announce. It's going to issue executive action to give temporary amnesty and work permits to Dreamers' parents as early as the fall.
Fucking knock the shit out of that motherfucker right there.
Sending to illegal aliens might be a little fuzzy. The message they're sending to the rest of America is quite clear. It's not hope and change for America, but for everybody else. Now you can find more reports like these at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv.
'76 anniversary on July 3rd, 2014. I come to you live from Austin, Texas. If you want to see that video report, it's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com after it aired a few nights ago on Infowars Nightly News with Ms. Infowars herself, Leanne McAdoo, her reports, Darren McBreen reports, all the great reporters' reports, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, you name it, are up on Infowars.com. And what I really enjoy seeing with a real sense of satisfaction as we go up against this tyranny is Leanne McAdoo's reports, Paul Watson's reports, Anthony Gucciardi's reports, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs' reports, and others routinely. Kit Daniels reports on national television, national radio, international television and radio. Our reporters are now news sources all over the globe for dinosaur media and alternative new media and are kicking butt. And that's another testament to what you can do out there, ladies and gentlemen. Most of these reporters haven't even worked in mainstream media. McBreen worked for, what was it, Scripps Howard News Service on TV and print. Leanne's got a degree from UT, worked in television. But most of these folks are people that won contests, people like David Knight. And of course, he'd already been in media and an engineer and worked at a think tank.
All right, people, it starts to get a little slow here for our next couple of minutes or so. But this is a really, really good webcast here he's sending out. So what I'm going to do is, in the description of this video, I'm going to put a link to this video right here so y'all can watch the whole thing. I already watched it. I just wanted to get that one part recorded right there because I thought that was pretty informative. He has a lot more informative stuff in here y'all need to really see. So the description of this video right here is going to be in the description. You just need to click on that link and watch this freaking video from Alex Jones. Really good, very powerful. Y'all need to watch it, but I'm cutting it here so that way, you know, because I can't record the whole thing, obviously. I have a short time on my camera. But anyway, just look in the description, excuse me, got a little tongue-tied there. Look in the description, and there you go. How much you want to guess those guys work for Homeland Security right there? Don't trust Shepard. Don't trust the government. This is what they're going to do to civilians right here.